I didn't have a problem until I would say the summer of 2004. And it would happen maybe once or twice a month.
Epilepsy is recurring unprovoked seizures, and it can be all different types.
We have a whole team of epileptologists and radiologists and neuropsychologists and just a whole lot of people, and that all come together to take care of people like Albert.
Really, epilepsy has lots of etiologies, lots of reasons to have seizures. It happens to be just a symptom of all sorts of things that can be wrong with the brain.
It kept on occurring. It kept on happening. So I told myself, hey, you have to get yourself to your doctor, get examined. Maybe you're working too many hours, not eating properly. I had another seizure September 1st, 2004. And this time my wife, who luckily for me called 911, an ambulance arrived, and they took me into their hands and made me aware that I had just had a grand mal seizure and took me to the hospital.
Albert was interesting because his seizures were very, very short. And for some time, even I had difficulty knowing whether he was truly confused. I knew he had seizures, there was no question. But, there's a fine line between yes, I'm confused, or no, I'm not. And when your seizures are short, sometimes it's difficult to really be sure.
But as time progressed, I kept on having more seizures. Simple partial seizures. I wouldn't faint. I would be awake. For example, if I were talking to somebody and I was asked a question, I would start talking about something else that wasn't related with our conversation, just to avoid what we were talking about.
The seizures were a little bit unusual, and we were concerned that the seizure onsets were coming from a little bit different place than just the hippocampus or the deep temporal lobe. And so when we're not absolutely sure, then we decide to do what's called phase 2 epilepsy monitoring. And that entails having electrodes surgically implanted over the surface of the brain in question, closing and going into a room where you have video EEG monitoring and having seizures with the electrodes on the surface of the brain. So Albert did that, and we were able to identify exactly where the seizures were coming from with respect to all the other areas that we were mapping. And it gave us great confidence that we were going after the right site.
It's on my left side, scalp area, over my temporal area of the brain. It's a nice little U shape. I used to have 15 to 20 simple partial seizures lasting a 5-day period every 2 weeks for the past year before the surgery. And it's been a year and 3 months since the surgeries, and I haven't had one seizure.